Hey, it's good to see you. It is the 17th day of November 2021, and since I go by the Gregorian calendar, it's Wednesday, and that means Winning Wednesday. The Winning Wednesday theme now available to download on iTunes, by the way. Up for grabs today, thanks to our friends at the Town Toyota Center. This is a cool prize. You've probably heard about it by now. Holiday Dreams coming to the Town Toyota Center on Wednesday, December 15th. I'm going to read directly from the press release. A jaw-dropping modern holiday cirque show featuring acrobats, aerialists, contortionists, dancers, daredevils, comedy, toe-tapping soundtrack, holograms, projected mapping, interactive lasers, award-winning artists all come together. It is a holiday cirque show. It is coming to the Town Toyota Center, and I got a pair of tickets up for grabs. And these are really, really good seats. I did the homework on this. They're floor seats. They're only 7 rows back from the stage. They're right there. You'll be able to take it all in. If you're the winner, of course, you have to email me. That's how this contest is done. Email me, winner@ncwlife.com, winner@ncwlife.com. 1 entry per email address. No age restrictions. You can be 16, 17, we don't care. No age restrictions on these babies. If you don't enter, you can't win. Don't forget that rule. If you do not enter the contest, you are out of the contest. Employees of Soleon Broadcasting, Local Telecommunications, and their immediate families are not eligible. Sorry, Tucker. We'll do the drawing sometime today. We'll do it on Facebook Live as we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. A pair of tickets right there, row 7, right on the floor, to see Holiday Dreams. And we're going to be giving away a lot of these, by the way, over the next few Wednesdays as we get closer and closer. Email me if you want to win these tickets. You get a pair of them. And I looked it up online. They're $65 a pop, so this is a $130 value if my math is correct. Get a hold of me. Winner@ncwlife.com. Winner@ncwlife.com. We'll do the drawing sometime today. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. We'll give you a couple more reminders. It's cold, 27 degrees outside of our studios, and we're mild compared to other locations. Afraid is at 19, Oback 21, downtown Dryden 26, suburban Dryden 26, Ellensburg is at 21, Quincy 28. It's cool, and it's going to be cool today. Very pleasant day, dry, and then the next system comes in, not packing a great deal of punch on Thursday. We got your forecast details coming up. We could get a little bit of light snow in some of our viewing locations on Thursday night. We'll give you the details. News, got that. Sports, got that. Today in history, an opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty. Some celebrity birthdays. And coming up in the back half of the program, I had a chance to talk to one of the organizers of ROAR, Rescue Our Aging Roads. That's the acronym. Noel Kuntz is involved in ROAR. You've seen it. You're out driving around our area's highways and byways and bridges and tunnels and overpasses and what have you. We got some issues. We got potholes and we got bridges falling apart. ROAR is trying to do something about that. You can get involved with ROAR. They have a very important meeting tomorrow, a Zoom meeting. We'll let you know how you can do that. Noel will give you all those details in the back half of the program. It's 4 after. Let's go. Let's see what we got. With our cameras around the valley, once again, the cross camera bats lead off. Remember yesterday at this time, there was a little bit of snow at the top of Birch Mountain. There's still a couple of little spots of snow where the sun doesn't quite directly hit Birch Mountain. Outside of that, most of that is gone. Beautiful sunrise this morning, even though it's not officially here yet. 7:09 sunrise this morning. Sunset tonight, 4:22, 9 hours and 13 minutes of daylight. Yesterday's high, 48. Our normal high, 43. We're not even going to get to our normal high today. I told you. It's going to be chilly. It's going to be cool and dry today. Then the next round of precipitation arrives late Thursday into Friday. With a little bit of snow in some locations, probably not here. Camera 2. Ooh, hello, Jump Off Ridge. Beautiful view there. The Stamo Basin in the lower left-hand corner. You can make out some of the Three Lakes of Three Lakes. You can see Pangbourne Memorial Airport, a huge swath of East Wenatchee, and all the way up to the very top of Badger Mountain from Jump Off Ridge, overlooking Malaga with the Wenatchee Valley in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. That camera is up there. What a stunning view. Camera number 3. Omi Gardens camera chimes in. The Otobashian Bridge looking good. The Columbia River full of that water on its way to the Pacific Ocean. Good morning to our friends on the north side of town in the old station area. Thanks for starting your day with us. The cross camera directly across from your view, and camera 4. Ooh, we've gone to the top of McNeil Canyon. We haven't used that one in a long time. Hello, McNeil Canyon. Hello, Lake Chelan. The Chelan Butte is to your left. You can, if you squint, you can make out the airport there. And of course, Lake Chelan just sitting right there, and a little bit of snow way up above. I understand Holden Village got a little bit of snow a couple of days ago. We're closing in on winter, even though winter is still officially a month away. Good morning to the top of McNeil Canyon. Good stuff this morning. All right, from the National Weather Service, without further ado, here we go. Partly cloudy. We're going to see some sun, but we're going to see some high clouds too. Late in the day, the clouds will begin to roll in as this next system comes in. We'll top off at about 41 degrees, which is below normal for this time of the year. 28 for the overnight low tonight. It will be cloudy. Tomorrow, we could see a little bit of light snow in the very early hours of the morning. And then if we get any precipitation at all, it'll switch over to rain. We only got a 20% chance of precipitation tomorrow. That's why we didn't put it up. But again, chilly, only about 39 or 40 for the afternoon high, 31 for the overnight low Thursday night. Thursday night, snow level is going to go all the way down to 1,200 feet, and the chance of precipitation is going to go up to 60%, but we're not expecting any real significant snowfall at all on Thursday night, but other locations could. To Friday we go. Partly sunny and a high of about 41, and then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we'll see fairly sunny conditions with the exception of Sunday. Temperatures warming up to slightly above normal for the forecast period. So basically typical mid to late November weather here in the Wenatchee Valley. Up to the pass as we go, brought to you by, the cameras are not working, I understand? Okay, cameras aren't working, so I'm just going to give this to you verbally. It's brought to you by D.A. Davidson, the strength of a trusted partner and personalized solutions to meet your financial needs. Member SIPC. Now, there's no real problems, really. Stevens Pass has a traction tire advisory. I can look at the camera here, and I'm telling you, Stevens doesn't look too bad. Compact snow and ice on the roadway. It's not snowing or raining on Stevens Pass. Just right at the summit, you're going to find that snow and ice. Outside of that, you're pretty good to go. There's a traction tire advisory. No advisories, no restrictions on Blewett or on Snoqualmie Pass. You're good to go. No precipitation in the forecast today, none tonight. Maybe an inch of snow in the mountain passes on Thursday. Couple of inches in the wee small hours Thursday night into Friday. A little bit of light snow on Friday, and that's about it. There's your live shot of Stevens. That's what I was talking about. Seeing a mixture of asphalt and snow, but it's actually not that bad. That's the only advisory we have right now is Stevens Pass. There's Blewett. You're fine. They're bare. They're dry. You're good to go. No snow coming down there. I-90 zipping right through. You got no issues at all. And again, pretty quiet weather in the mountain passes today, tonight, and most of the day on Thursday. A couple of inches of snow Thursday night, a little bit of light snow on Friday, and that's essentially about it. It's going to be pretty quiet, actually, up in the mountain passes. Outside of Stevens with the advisory, you're pretty much good to go. All right. Thanks to our friends at D.A. Davidson. 8 minutes after the hour, a 1-minute break, and then your Wednesday morning headlines. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Kids are resilient. I just love their energy. They bounce back so quickly. I love the stories they tell. I love just their charisma, their character. I love to see that subtle smile that you pull out of a kid, you know, when you start talking with them about something they really like. I just love what I do, and I can't imagine I would be as happy doing anything else.
For plumbing, heating, or cooling repair, Patriot will be right there.
Of all the things you'll try to clear your mind, like yoga with a goat, why not start with the most basic, a comfortable environment to breathe in? Maybe it's time to rethink your air.
Patriot Plumbing, heating and cooling will give your home a hug.
Gorgeous sunrise going on right now, but it is cool. It's 26 degrees now. Outside of our studios, we'll have sunshine for most of the day today. The clouds will be thickening up tonight. We're only going to get up to about 40 degrees. We're going to have lots of clouds, maybe a stray snowflake or two on Thursday. Best chance of snow Thursday night, but it's not going to stick around. And then it's going to be fairly quiet coming up this weekend. We'll begin with this story. An Okanagan man's conviction for trying to kill the head of Gebbers Farms has been upheld. The State Court of Appeals ruled yesterday that Mark Reynoldsworth failed to show that his trial in 2019 was unfair. Back in September of 2016, Worth drove alongside Gebbers Farms CEO Cass Gebbers on Old Highway 97 near Brewster Flats and opened fire with a handgun. Now, Gebbers was not hit, but he received minor injuries from broken glass. Investigators say Worth had previously stalked and harassed Gebbers and members of his family. A jury convicted Worth of attempted first-degree murder and drive-by shooting. He's now serving a prison sentence of 25 years. A man from Kalama pled guilty on Monday to sexually molesting a child from Chelan County. He now faces a likely prison term of nearly 5 years. Prosecutors want 35-year-old Alejandro Alcala to serve at least 59 and a half months. Sheriff's deputies arrested him in 2019 after a child victim disclosed instances of abuse dating back 3 years when she was 9 years old. Alcala pled guilty to a single count of child molestation in Superior Court. He faces sentencing on January 18th. North Central Washington resident Norma Gallegos has been appointed. She's one of 11 people who's been appointed to a state advisory panel on police violence. Governor Jay Inslee yesterday announcing that the board members of the Office of Independent Investigations. It's a newly created department that investigates the police use of force. Gallegos is one of 4 representatives of the general public on the board. It also includes prosecutors, police representatives, and tribal members. She's an immigration services coordinator. She lives in Leavenworth, and she's also the sister of the late Sal Gallegos, a Chelan County Sheriff's deputy who was killed in the line of duty in Manson back in 2003. Almost 2 years after heavy snow destroyed a remote bridge in the Okanagan and Wenatchee National Forest, its replacement is now in place. The bridge is in the Indian Creek Trail in the Glacier Peak Wilderness. The Wenatchee River Ranger District crew began work on the new bridge last fall using crosscut saws to fall a large nearby Douglas fir. The bark was peeled off ahead of winter to prevent rot. Work resumed in the summertime with mules used to haul in the needed equipment using heavy-duty cable pullers and logging blocks. The crew maneuvered the giant log into place. With the new bridge now replaced, the trail again offers a key access point to the Pacific Crest Trail. And finally this morning, when Washington's bipartisan redistricting commission missed its deadline on Monday night to get the job done to redraw the legislative and congressional maps for our state, the commission, made up of 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans, voted Monday night to adopt new maps. But after the midnight deadline passed, and the commission later acknowledged that, they blew it. What happens next? Well, the voting maps for the next 10 years will have to be drawn up by the Washington State Supreme Court. The meeting on Monday night was a bit chaotic at times. Here's a highlight.
The 8th in our discussions will continue to be a district that spans the Cascades. You will see the kind of historic 4th and 5th district running north-south in eastern Washington.
I think, as the public can probably tell, we're all just a little bit tired and still working really hard to get to a place where we might be able to take a vote.
Okay, great. Commissioner Fain?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Just a really quick question, because I know that I need to meet with staff for a minute here, but I was looking at some of the things, like a split between Chelan and Douglas County, and I'm wondering if, like, anyone can speak to that. I'm thinking it might just be the way that population is being pushed up because of the way that some of the eastern Washington needs to move into western Washington, and I just didn't know if anybody could maybe educate me about that.
Historically, Chelan and Douglas counties have been together in the 12th legislative district. We face a number of challenges this year in central and eastern Washington with population shifts and with issues we're working through in Yakima. And I think that there may be the prospect of the need to split Chelan and Douglas County as they traditionally have been together. I'm not sure that I would not do it in a vacuum, but I think that it may be something that I might be recommending that we do as part of a proposed plan.
The first item is our final congressional plan. And I wonder if there is a motion to adopt the final congressional plan.
So moved.
Second? Waiting for a second on the congressional plan.
It's second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Terrific. Let's move on to that passes final legislative plan. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 That's what's making headlines on this winning Wednesday morning. We will have a newscast for you tonight at 5, 6, and 10. The whole news crew will be cobbling together the news, figuring out what's the most important stories of the day, and we'll deliver them to you at 5, 6, and 10. And with a preview, here's Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, quiet weather on tap for our Wednesday, and then possibly the first snow of the season headed our way tomorrow. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom has the latest on the Kraken as they prepare to take on the Chicago Blackhawks tonight. That and all the day's news stories coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. Don't forget, we'd love to hear from you. You can go to our Facebook page and use the Messenger app. You can go to our homepage, our website, ncwlife.com, and click on the Contact Us icon. And if you so desire, you can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com. When we come back, we'll talk in Seattle Kraken hockey. The Blackhawks are in town for a game tonight. Also, Wenatchee Wild Hockey, they're getting ready for a big 3-game series up in Canada. And we're going to hear from Haley Van Lith again, the Louisville sophomore. We'll talk about that, too, when we get to sports in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
I'm Dr. Wayne Latimer. I'm a chiropractic physician. I have postgraduate certifications in both whiplash, trauma, and rehab, as well as sports medicine. The location is great. The light and the visibility, the 17-foot ceilings are fantastic. You can go into a lot of clinics, and it's very clinical. People really like the spa environment, so my whole premise was take a spa environment, add the very serious rehab, and give people an enjoyable way to get better over time.
18 minutes after the hour of sports, the Seattle Kraken take to the ice tonight for the first time in franchise history. They're taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. And the Blackhawks started out really slow this season, so slow that they fired their coach. But they got a new coach, Derek King, and since then they've won 3 in a row. Seattle has lost its last 2 games after falling behind early, and the coach of the Kraken, Dave Haxtell, says we got to fix that problem.
You know, to be honest with you, we didn't generate very much against Minnesota. So when I look at our start, I evaluated that start. I thought we left something on the table. I didn't think we, it comes down to little things. I didn't think we started many shifts with the puck, which means our line changes weren't as sharp as they could be, especially in our home building. So we weren't able to generate a whole lot. We didn't give up a lot, but we still gave up 2 or 3 good scoring chances against. We ended up, not gaining the lead, and in essence, I've talked about it before. This is a tough league to play from behind in, and we put ourselves in that position against a good team in our own building. So, we'd like to do that better.
Haxtell said the Kraken need to get out to early leads. That way, the home ice advantage works in their favor.
In our building, with the type of atmosphere that we have, it's a huge benefit, if we can get out to a good start and have our crowd involved, and have that energy flow right along with us. And it's not going to be easy to do necessarily, night in and night out. But there's little pieces in terms of puck possession and momentum and pushing the right direction that can set you up for a good 60-minute effort.
The Kraken are currently last in the Pacific Division. In fact, here's the standings in the Pacific Division. They are 4-10-1 on the year. Anaheim and Edmonton are out in front. They both have double-digit win totals so far this year. Haxtell says the Kraken need to find confidence in their ability and try not to be perfect.
We want to make sure we're cleaning up details without trying to get too perfect. There's a fine line there, and you just mentioned a couple of the flash screens that have gone in front of our goaltenders. There was one that happened in Vegas, and also in one of our I don't know if it was the Minnesota or the Anaheim game, but there's little details that we want to clean up. Right now, we're playing pretty good hockey, and we haven't had any results to show for it. So we have to really focus on some of the little details that we can clean up without taking away our enthusiasm, without taking away our competitive spirit, and all of those things that are very, very important to maintain.
It's the Kraken and the Blackhawks. They drop the puck at 7 o'clock tonight at Climate Pledge Arena, and you can watch the game on TNT. Speaking of hockey, the Wenatchee Wild back on the road in Canada this weekend after dropping a pair to West Kelowna last week at home. Wenatchee travels to play 3 games in 3 days. The trip begins Friday in Nanaimo against the Clippers, 7 o'clock there. Then they'll take on, they'll hop on the ferry and head across the strait to Victoria on Saturday to take on the Grizzlies at 7 o'clock. Then they wrap up the road on Sunday afternoon at 2:30 in Langley against the Rivermen. You can listen to the games locally on radio at 560 AM, KPQ, or 1340 The Hockey. You can also watch the games live if you subscribe to Hockey TV. Seahawks trying to figure out the right formula to win. They haven't been able to do that. They'll try again Sunday, taking on Arizona. The Cardinals currently lead the NFC West. They're 8-2. Seattle is at the bottom of the standings at 3-6. Of course, the Seahawks were shut out in Green Bay for the first time in a decade. They didn't score any points in an NFL game. There's a lot of questions swirling around whether Russell Wilson maybe came back a little too early from his finger injury. Coach Pete Carroll said he knew Russell Wilson would be a little rusty.
There's no question that if you don't play for a month, it's going to affect you. And so we were hoping that we would be able to find our way and get back going again. And unfortunately, it wasn't as sharp. So, maybe in this week coming back, we'll see us, be a little bit more on it and more precise and all that. I don't know that it's underestimating anything. It's just that, you got to deal with it. And this is the circumstances. You're going to come back after a layoff and you're going to have to play and you got to get going, And so that's just, we just had to do that. And this is the game that it was.
If you're watching Sunday's game, you saw DK Metcalf get thrown out. He was ejected for fighting. He's had several personal fouls called on him throughout the course of the season. Coach Carroll said that issue has been addressed and he expects DK Metcalf to turn it around.
The last thing he wants is for this to continue, and so you're going to see him. You're going to he's been really good for about a month now, 5 or 6 weeks of really just playing ball and digging in and all that. And he wants to make sure that that's what his work stands for, and I'm anxious to see him come on back out again this week and get going. We always want him to get the football, and we want Tyler to get the ball, and we want Gerald to get the ball. Those are the thoughts that we have, and so that the game plan is set to get that done if we can, and that's our intent.
Seahawks and the Cardinals, Lumen Field, 1:25 kickoff. You can watch the game on Fox. We have one women's college basketball score to pass along of local interest because of Haley Van Lith. 10th-ranked Louisville demolished Bellarmine last night, 82-25. Kashmir grad Haley Van Lith, second in scoring for the Cardinals. She had 11 points. She had 19 points to lead the team in their opening game, which was a loss. Haley says the biggest thing she learned in her freshman year is she's got to take care of her body.
I think I learned a lot about leadership and how to lead a team to a championship. And I think the season is long in college, and just working on preserving your body so that you can play your best at the perfect time is something I'll definitely carry over this year.
Louisville, of course, made it to the Elite Eight of the NCAA women's basketball tournament before they were eliminated, and they only lost one player, a good player. Dana Evans is now in the WNBA. Van Lith says her goals for her sophomore year are more personal.
Pushing myself to get uncomfortable and not always just sit in the background, and get to know my teammates better, because I think genuine relationships create that trust bond that will allow them to perform at their best ability. So I think relationships and making myself uncomfortable.
Haley and the Cardinals host University of Tennessee Martin tonight, and then this weekend, Saturday night, the Cardinals will be back in the Pacific Northwest. Haley will be right along with them. The Cardinals will be in Seattle to take on the Washington Huskies. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Winning Wednesday. More details and what we're giving away coming up in just a couple minutes. I had three obscure holidays to choose from. Today is National Homemade Bread Day. I used to have one of those bread makers, used it all the time, and then I don't use it anymore. Maybe I should dig it out of the closet. Today is National Baklava Day. Love me a good piece of baklava, but no. Today is National Take a Hike Day because people tell me all the time, Dan, take a hike. Not surprisingly, was created by the American Hiking Society. Our group dedicated to hiking, getting out on those trails and do your thing. Get out in the outdoors, the wilderness, enjoy the fresh air and all that good stuff. Yeah, you get more connected to Mother Nature. There's a lot of trails. This is an amazing fact. In the United States alone, there are about 200,000 miles of trails on federal lands and another 50,000 miles of trails, basically, on state land and national trail system lands. There's the Appalachian Trail. There's the Continental Divide Trail, the Ice Age Trail. You can now hike the entire Pacific Crest Trail now that they fixed the bridge that we talked about during the news. There's the California National Historic Trail, the Pony Express Historic Trail. There are trails everywhere. You can go on a long hike, a short hike, an up and down hike, a flat hike. It doesn't matter to me. Just whatever you do. Take a hike every November 17th. You think this would be kind of more of a September or June kind of holiday instead of November, but dress appropriately. Let's do Today in History. This is the 53rd anniversary of the great football debacle known as the Heidi Game. NBC was broadcasting the Oakland Raiders and the New York Jets from the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. At 7 o'clock Eastern Time, the made-for-television movie Heidi, which was heavily promoted by NBC leading up to the big event on Sunday night at 7 o'clock. The problem was the game in Oakland kept going and going, penalties and dropped passes, and all of a sudden, on the East Coast, it's getting closer and closer to 7 o'clock, and the game's not over yet. And they just decided to start the movie Heidi. It got a lot of people upset. The next day, on the Huntley-Brinkley Report, David Brinkley straightened it all out. Here you go.
Last night, somebody in the vast reaches of the NBC network didn't get the word, as in the Army. The result was that football fans by the thousands were roused to a cold fury, and some probably haven't cooled down yet. At 7 o'clock last night, NBC was carrying the pro game between the New York Jets and the Oakland Raiders. There was 65 seconds of playing time left. At 7, NBC had scheduled a 2-hour special program for children, a dramatization of Heidi. It was decided Heidi should wait a couple of minutes until the game was over. But somehow that decision never reached those who were pushing the buttons. So the football game was cut off the air a minute before it ended, and Heidi was started. The football fans erupted. There were 10,000 phone calls of complaint to New York NBC alone. So many, the telephone switchboards blew out their fuses. NBC apologized for the error, but by then, Oakland had scored 2 touchdowns in the last minute, had beaten New York. The game was over. The fans who missed it could not be consoled. Well, here is the last minute as it would have been seen last night if somebody at NBC had got the word.
Monica to Charlie Smith. Smith is hitting and he scores! Squib this one to prevent a run back. Earl Custer fumbling it around. He fumbles the ball. And Oakland has it for touchdown. Oakland has scored 2 touchdowns in 9 seconds. And that's it. The final score, Oakland 43, New York 32.
It got to be so bad that when people phoned NBC to complain and couldn't get through because the switchboard fuses were blown, they started calling the police and threatened to blow their fuses. Good night, Chet.
Good night, Dave. Good night for NBC News.
That doesn't happen anymore. And this is the 43rd anniversary of the worst 2 hours in television ever broadcast, since the topic today seems to be television debacles. Yes, November 17th, 1978, 43 years ago today, the Star Wars Holiday Special aired on CBS. It was called now, and I'm quoting, the worst 2 hours of television ever, end quote. Fans hated it, critics hated it, George Lucas hated it, can't believe he signed off on it. It has never been rebroadcast, it's never been released in any video format of any kind on home video. It has become something of a cult following, a cultural legend. Those people who were smart enough to actually videotape and save their videotapes from November 17th, 1978, eventually would start uploading them on YouTube. But of course, because of copyright restrictions, as soon as somebody would upload a copy, it would go right back down again. I tried to watch it yesterday. You can't. It's just, it comes and goes. Every once in a while, it pops up on YouTube for a couple hours, and then the copyright police take it back down again. So you got to look hard to find it. It's really, I don't care if you're the biggest Star Wars fan in the history of Star Wars. B. Arthur was in it. The Jefferson Starship. Were these people out to lunch? Star Wars Holiday Special. You can't see it. Thank God. Let's do birthdays. At 32 minutes after the hour, he was born Ray Harold Shearer in 1925. When he came to Hollywood and became an actor, they changed his name to Rock Hudson. He was, of course, very discreet about his sexual orientation. The people in Hollywood knew that Rock Hudson was gay, but they were able to keep that quiet. But in 1984, as his health rapidly declined and he was diagnosed with AIDS, there was no way they could hide that any longer. He was actually the first celebrity to die of AIDS. He died in October of 1985 at the age of 59, but he's a pretty good actor. Rock Hudson, born in the state in 1925. Martin Scorsese, he's a Hollywood legend. In fact, he is the most nominated living director in the history of the Academy Awards. Mean Streets, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull is such a great movie. The King of Comedy, Goodfellas, The Last Waltz, Cape Fear, Casino. He won the Academy Award for The Departed. Martin Scorsese, one of the great directors ever, 79 years old today. Danny DeVito is 77 years old today. Broke out, of course, as Louis De Palma in Taxi. Now he's on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Danny DeVito, 77 years old today. Lorne Michaels is 77 years old today. Born and raised in Canada. He's an American citizen now, has been for a couple of years. He, of course, is the executive producer of Saturday Night Live for most of its 40-plus years on television. And Mr. Met, Tom Seaver, born in the state in 1944. We lost Tom Seaver a couple of years ago at the age of 75. Only Tom Seaver and Walter Johnson have this to claim. Nobody else has done this. 300 wins, 3,000 strikeouts, and an earned run average of under 3.0. Mr. Met, Tom Seaver, born in the state in 1944, and we miss him. 33 minutes after the hour, I'm going to take a break. Got an opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty. And then Noel Kuntz, who is affiliated with the group ROAR, Rescue Our Aging Roads. It's a problem. She's going to tell you how we can fix it, or at least play a role anyway. That's when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
LocalTel knows the internet is evolving, taking new twists and turns as you add your input and make your choices. Choose LocalTel Fiber Internet for your journey and get the fastest fiber speeds in Washington State. Contact LocalTel. Connect to the fiber internet speed that suits your journey and enjoy the ride.
Counterplay inside, picking his way back to the 10, to the 5.
High school sports is back, and NCW Live Channel's got you covered. Tune in for football, girls soccer, and volleyball right here. Thanks to our sponsors, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Rivercom 911, and Sangster Motors. Follow all the action of high school sports on your local TV station, the NCW Live Channel.
14, they come back.
Direct from Las Vegas, Holiday Dreams, a spectacular holiday cirque. Experience holograms, interactive lasers, projection mapping, and a cast of international cirque performers on one stage. Experience the futuristic holiday show everyone's talking about. Make new memories with your family this holiday season and experience Holiday Dreams, a spectacular holiday show. Live in concert.
Ooh, what a workout. I'm gonna be feeling it tomorrow.
In other news, lawmakers today were addressing the nation's opioid crisis, which has already taken thousands of lives.
The opioid crisis is really something.
Yeah, I guess like 75% of opioid misuse starts with someone taking pills that weren't prescribed to them.
I'm glad my doctor always suggests other options for pain management.
Totally, there's ice, there's ibuprofen.
A warm bath, hot compress.
Take the next step. Don't share your prescriptions and talk to your friends about the dangers of opioids.
The Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center brings you Vibrant Motion, a new hour-long exercise program featuring local instructors Connie Townsend and Pat Robbins. Each week, we'll bring you a new episode with aerobics or Tai Chi. We promise you'll get a heart-pumping, low-impact workout regardless of your age. Join us for Vibrant Motion, weekdays on the NCW Life channel. Check your program guide for airtimes.
I'm John Divis from Wenatchee Dental Arts, and I like to think myself as a comprehensive dentist. We are an office that treats people comprehensively for their dental problems. We do a lot of general dentistry in a broad sense. We don't send everything out. Things that we have the ability to do in the office, we like to keep in the office and under one roof and keep things as complication-free as possible. You can come to one place and have all their dental needs taken care of.
In a world afraid of technology, one man, one show will bring you the newest innovations that may just change your life. This summer, Ray McNeil and your Weekly Tech Update is your Weekly Tech Update with Ray McNeil.
Come on, I'm a certified technician. I was trained to take good care of you.
9. I've only been to the dealer.
I've been coming here for years. These guys are great.
Look around. The BMW, the Jag, the Volvo, they're all waiting for regular service. Well, the BMW has a little computer issue, but that's nothing we can't handle. Come on in.
From regular maintenance to computer troubleshooting, trust the Global Car Care technicians with your import, diesel-powered, or domestic vehicle. Global Car Care. They speak your car's language.
Dankeschön.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody is entitled to my opinion.
Listen to me!
Now, how do you feel about the fact that social media has basically replaced due process as described in the Constitution? Now, why bother with facts and evidence? Why should we take the time to allow for a trial and let a defendant face their accuser?
You're a moron.
What's the point of making sure a defense attorney has the opportunity to question witnesses and offer exculpating testimony? I mean, can't we just watch 30 seconds of a Facebook video recorded by some random person's cell phone? I mean, why bother with the Constitution? This is Mike Mad Dog McNally.
I want you to stop getting hysterical over nothing.
And that's my opinion.
Our experience with NCW Life has been amazing.
People think television and they think it's this huge production thing. It's really expensive.
It's crazy how affordable it is. I couldn't believe it.
It's not as expensive as we thought it was going to be.
I would say I was really surprised to see that it was actually comparable to radio ads or print media.
It was really affordable.
When I was about 16, I got in a relationship. He hit me for the first time in front of his daughter. He physically abused me in front of my children. I couldn't do it no more. Sage was there for me when I needed them. I didn't hear a lecture from them. I didn't hear anything but just acceptance. And that's what I needed at the time. And they help you with everything that you need to move on in life and heal.
Stay active and independent for life. SAIL is an evidence-based strength, balance, and fitness program. The exercises in a SAIL class have been packaged into a formal regimen focusing on 4 key areas important to the health and fitness of mature participants: low-impact cardiovascular, balance work, strength training, and stretching. Sail classes are designed for people of all fitness levels and can be done sitting or standing. Join us for Sail on the NCW Life channel. Check your listing for days and times.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. The group is called ROAR. It's an acronym for Rescue Our Aging Roads. And if you drive, even if you don't drive, you see them everywhere. You know that our bridges and our tunnels and our overpasses and our side streets and our main streets and everything else in between, we got some significant infrastructure problems. Now, of course, earlier in this week, President Biden signed that $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. What does that mean for us? I don't know. I'm not an expert, but Noel is. Full disclosure before we get completely into this interview, Noel Kuntz is married to one of my brothers. We just need to make that plain so everybody knows how that works out, okay? Rescue Our Aging Roads. Noel, you're toting that barge and lifting that bale. Tell folks what exactly your organization is.
So Billy Heathington, who's the president-elect for Washington State Good Roads and Transportation, and I started this social media platform, the ROAR page, basically as a way to bring awareness to our aging roads and the lack of preservation and maintenance needs in the Washington State transportation system. So we do this by posting information that we receive from attending various transportation meetings across the state and by posting articles related to transportation. So it's a way to inform the average driver who's not, eating and breathing, transportation to become more informed.
Our roads, a lot of them are simply in lousy conditions. Your organization, you kind of wanted to see what we already have fixed and repaired and maintained as opposed to, how to hell with it, this is build a new one, right?
Yeah, so basically for the last 25 years, the legislature has changed how that they have done their typical funding with project budgets. It used to be take care of what we have and then whatever's left over go towards the projects, and they've changed that. They've been doing projects first, which has left our current roads in very poor condition. So we're trying to bring that back, to go back to fix what we have, take care of what we have, and then take what's left over and build the new projects.
So you're kind of taking what they're doing and you want to reverse it and go back to the way it should be, in your opinion.
And how they were doing it when we had good roads and we weren't lacking in the funding.
You spend a lot of time in your automobile, I know that for a fact. What exactly planted this seed to get you involved to launch ROAR? Was it just you got tired of seeing potholes and crumbling bridges? What made it happen?
So I'm involved with Washington State Good Roads and Transportation. And so with that, I'd be attending meeting after meeting regarding transportation. And so you just keep getting drilled in, hearing the same thing about, like, how do we make fixing up potholes sexy for, legislators to actually want to do it, because there aren't big ribbon cuttings for it. They want to see the big projects and the dollars going towards those projects. And so after, conversing, it's like, okay, how can we do this? And so this was a way to try to bring that about. So that's the main thing that got me involved in starting it. Another background is just that I used to be a driver's ed teacher, so I did, again, spend a lot of time on the roads and traveling, across countries and different things for different meetings in Olympia and so forth.
You sent me some photos. We all know that the Vantage Bridge, the I-90 bridge that crosses the Columbia River in Vantage, has had unbelievable issues. They've had emergency shutdowns. They've had chunks of concrete fall into the Columbia River, and this is a major source of getting goods and services from point A to point B in this state. I'm a little worried about driving over the damn thing.
Yeah, and you might want to be. So so the Vantage Bridge is in great need of complete rehabilitation for the bridge deck and the concrete overlay. So the way you're talking about is in 2020, when that summer, pieces of concrete were constantly falling into the Columbia River. And so WCOT received about $250,000 for interim repairs. But the issue is that it needs $11.5 $6.2 million to actually do the complete overlay. So, and this isn't, since it's not currently planned for funding, and we don't really have a permanent fix right now for this. So it's like when your house needs a new roof, and instead of putting on a new roof, we just continue to fix the patches. And so that's what you're driving on. You're driving on patches just being put together. And the other main issue is that there's a dozen other bridges that have more urgent need of repair in Washington state. And so the Vantage Bridge is not high prioritized. And WSDOT actually admits that there's no quick fix for this issue because our entire transportation system faces a $690 million annual backlog in maintenance and preservation costs. So that total just keeps adding up every biennium.
I find it hard to believe that there are bridges and overpasses in worse shape than the Vantage Bridge, but there are?
There are, unfortunately.
Jeez. We had a couple of issues earlier this summer. I was just telling Noel about this off the air. And you folks know what happened if you take that Highway 2, Highway 97 route between East Wenatchee and Orondo. They did some chip seal work over the summertime because the heavy fruit trucks, very heavily traveled with fruit trucks and other agriculture rigs going back and forth on that highway, and it causes ruts in the highway. So they went in, they chip sealed it on the summer, and it didn't take, and they had to do it basically all over again. And all that did was get a whole bunch of commuters really, really mad. This is what you're talking about. You're talking about it ain't sexy, but it's got to get done, as opposed to if we build a new bridge, we're heroes and we'll get reelected.
Yeah, and the problem with those is the fact that you'll notice even when you enter on Highway 28, coming into East Wenatchee, those darker stripes on the highway. And the reason why they're doing this is because of the lack of funding for road preservation. And so their chip sealing have been reduced to only being done where the tire wear lanes are. So traditionally, road chip seals would have been the whole width of the full lane, but because of lack of funding, they're just doing where the tire wear is.
Here in Chelan County, they are replacing the West Kashmir Bridge, or the Goodwin Bridge, if you will. People call it both of those. A bridge that was essentially, for lack of a better term, condemned. It was too narrow. It was too old. Two trucks could not pass each other. But it took to the point where they said, you can't even use this bridge anymore. You got to build a new one before they actually acted on it. It's the largest single expenditure for highway usage public works project in the history of Chelan County. They're spending $22 million on it. It's behind schedule. Is this just is this a teaspoon in the ocean kind of problem that's never going to go away?
It is, unfortunately. So all across, they're coming up with the idea of, okay, what is like the main heart of this transportation system, and they only have enough funding to save the hearts. And so there's going to be limbs on the transportation system that are going to be cut. We're going to start seeing roads that are just going to be closed, bridges that are going to be closed. Some roads will be like, okay, we're done paving. We're going to bring it back to gravel. Cars can slow down. So Washington State, let me look at this. There are 4,000 miles of pavement that are due for preservation right now, another 3,600 that are past due, and 1,600 that are rated poor. But currently only 750 lane miles are being repaved each year. And then in regards to the bridges, 15 are state-owned bridges need to be replaced. 19 of those are in need of major rehabilitation, but only 2 are being replaced. So you can see the lack of funding and how they're picking and choosing, like, okay, we have these great needs, but we're only doing parts of it. WSDOT also is no longer paving on sections of 45 miles per hour or lower speeds. And they're no longer paving on and off ramps. So other things in lack of funding is going to be this winter. Some of the roads and passes are just going to be closed longer, especially after major storms. They just don't have the manpower or the funding to keep up with the maintenance of just, the storms. And so the secondary roads, they're definitely going to be receiving less attention than the higher priority roads.
But you, and by you, I mean John Q. Public out there, you can do something about that. At least chime in for your own 2 cents. And that's going to happen tomorrow on Thursday at 11 a.m. It's a Zoom meeting. Noel, give us the details on that.
So the event tomorrow is actually being put on by Washington State Good Roads and Transportation. So they're a great organization. They were founded 123 years ago by Sam Hill, and they have a very rich history. So, and it continues to promote good roads and transportation here in Washington State. So typically it's a member-based organization, but they're actually inviting other people like our ROAR members and those who, so those that are following us on ROAR, getting this information. And so that is going to be, basically, it's a really intense packed agenda. So the 123rd Annual Conference Program is going to assess whether preservation of the state's roadway system is entering a death row spiral. So we're going to have Senator Steve Hobbs, who is currently still the chair of the Senate of the Transportation System, as well as the keynote speaker of Secretary Roger Millar. So, and then again, we'll definitely be hearing a lot about that bipartisan infrastructure package that was signed on Monday.
Yeah,
so very informative.
Good news for that. I mean, it's $1 trillion is a lot of money, but I mean, it's probably one of the biggest bills ever passed. Have you had a chance to have any clue of what this infrastructure package signed into law by the president is going to do for us here in Washington State?
Not in the details, so we're hoping to learn more about that tomorrow. But the biggest thing is just the signed transportation package. It's not the solution. It'll help get us along the way. But what we really need is for the state legislatures to turn that around and put in our own state transportation package that's focusing on the transportation and maintenance.
It should be pointed out that the interstate highway system, as approved by and signed into law by Dwight David Eisenhower 70 some odd years ago, it's still up to the states to maintain it. The states are responsible for their section of the interstate highway, not the federal government. I mean, just a heads up on that. If it's a highway in the state of Washington, the State Department of Transportation is in charge of maintaining it, and it seems to me they could be, from what I'm hearing from you, Noel, they could do a better job.
That's correct. So the way that works is, the state gets the federal funding, but that's always conditioned on whether or not we're keeping up with the roads. So eventually, if we're not keeping up with the roads, we could lose our federal funding, which is a scary thought.
A couple more questions for you, Noel, then I'll cut you loose. The idea has been floated. Hey, if the roadways and the bridges are falling apart because of heavy trucks that are doing most of the damage, they should be paying their fair share of getting the roads fixed. After all, they're the ones who are putting in the big ruts that we were just talking about on highways. Why shouldn't the trucking industry pay more to help maintain our highways than just a little old car that isn't really doing much damage at all? That's a political hot potato, isn't it?
It is. They do actually pay more in like their road usage, type of thing, their load, the weight charges. So they are paying quite a bit to it. It just also comes down to the fact that, as citizens, we still want the goods to ship at a lower cost. And when shipping, when they get the increase, then we feel the increase, and everything just kind of keeps going up. So it is a very hot topic that they're working on and trying to figure out how to get additional funding for it, how to, they've been looking at the road usage charges just for normal vehicles, trying to find out a way to, work with, the fact that the gas tax, has been around for over 100 years, and that's not covering, the needs of our roads to keep them up to good maintenance.
And we have one of the highest gas taxes in the nation, and it's still not keeping the piggy bank full enough to maintain what we already have. Noel Kuntz from ROAR, Rescue Our Aging Roads. And again, we're going to put that information up on the transportation conference, and it's a Zoom thing, so you can log in and sign up. We'll put that on the screen. Anything else on your mind, Noel, before I cut you loose?
No, that's good. Just remember to, follow us on Facebook and keep up to date. We'd love for you to post pictures and comments on things that you see around the state as you're driving around, especially in Wenatchee, since, I love Wenatchee, and it's just a beautiful place to live. And when you just stay in Wenatchee, the roads, aren't as bad as other areas, which when you're going around and you see a bad road here, you just have the rumors like, wow, it's, it's a lot worse in other places around our state.
You brought up a good point, because I know you do that. They don't know if there's a pothole or a bad guardrail or a shoulder that's slid off the highway unless you tell them. They're not necessarily informed in that. Somebody's got to let the DOT or somebody know, hey, you got a pothole here the size of a refrigerator. We probably should fix that. That's up to you out there, the motoring public. So.
All right.
Noel, it's great to talk to you. Say love to everybody in the family, and Thanksgiving.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I need a place to eat. Noel Kuntz from Roar, Rescue Our Aging Roads. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Don't make plans to store your boat for the off-season until you've checked out the Super Package from Bob File Boats and Motors. With this package, you just drop your boat off for winterizing, and they take it from there. When you pick it up in the spring, it'll be ready to go for the next season. There are too many features in the Super Package to list here, so get the details. 509-884-3558.
Bob File Boats and Motors, we're dealing. Bob File's gonna make you smile.
How much are you paying for adult family or assisted living? The Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments for one affordable price. They are diligent with their cleaning and sanitary standards to keep all residents healthy. Residents enjoy good food and excellent care in a relaxed, home-like environment. Rooms are now available, so call ahead for a tour and see if the Epladolin is the right choice for you. Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living in Cashmere. Affordable care.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
And we are back on this Winning Wednesday. Holiday Dreams coming to the Town Toyota Center. You've probably seen the ad here on the NCW Life channel. It is a modern holiday cirque show. It's got a little bit of everything. It is a entertainment smorgasbord of visual and audio and all kinds of cool stuff. And do you want to go? I got a pair of tickets from our friends at the Town Toyota Center. And these are really good seats. These are not nosebleed seats. These are phenomenally good seats. This is the 7th row on the floor, just 7 rows back from the stage. You'll be able to see the performers sweat. I kid you not. You want to win them? Pair of tickets? Email me. It's email only. winner@ncwlife.com. winner@ncwlife.com. Get your emails in. I'll do the drawing via Facebook Live sometime before the day is over. The things that you have to remember. Number one, if you don't enter, you cannot win. That's very simple. It's just common sense. Employees of solely on broadcasting, local telecommunications, and their immediate families are not eligible. Sorry, Rachel. And we'll do the drawing a little bit later on. Again, a pair of really good seats to see Holiday Dreams coming up on Wednesday, December 15th, Wednesday, December 15th at the Town Toyota Center. Thank you to them. And by the way, we'll be giving more of these away on future editions of Winning Wednesday. All right, to the forecast we go for the National Weather Service. Lots of sunshine this morning, clouds thickening up this afternoon. We'll top off at just about 40, 41 degrees. We're at 27 right now outside of our studios. Clouds will be hanging around tonight, 28 for the overnight low. We will be dry and cool today and tonight. Next round of precipitation expected to arrive Thursday night into Friday. Thursday, we have a slight chance of some light snow in the afternoon. I wouldn't bet on it. Thursday night now, the snow level goes all the way down to 1,200 feet. That's pretty much us. And there's a 60% chance of precipitation. You add those things up, you think snow? Well, no. Very, very light snow, if we get any at all, Thursday night into Friday. And then it's pretty much going to be mid to late November weather on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. A gradual warming trend with the clouds and the sun playing a little tug of war starting on Friday. And that is it for us. We will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.